Hi guys, so I'm going to read Brave and the Bold number 115. So this was recommended to me by a subscriber. So it's a Batman and Atom crossover story. Batman and the Atom knew the corpse that wouldn't die. We killed Batman and no witnesses. And there's two other stories here that are reprints. I'm not going to read them, but I will put them on my list. So the challengers of the unknown seek the three clues to sorcery. And Solomon Grundy battles Dr. Fate and Hourman. Now Solomon Grundy, I've not read his first appearance, and I put that on my list too because I completely forgot about that. But I will read his. It's in a Green Lantern story, Golden Age Green Lantern story. But plus Origin of the Viking Prince. I won't be reading that one. And special features, extra, and a mystery hero. And there's basically just the same, just an outline. I'll read the Batman outline. Batman and the Atom. The Gotham Guardian, the world's smallest superhero. Enter the world's smallest superhero, who's going to help him complete the case by entering the Batman's brain and making him the corpse that wouldn't die. And Batman and the Atom. A dark night in Gotham City, and rain-slick streets echo with the cry of innocence, seized by brutal hands. Please don't! No! Help! Someone! A cry that soon brings forth the dreaded avenger of 1,001 crimes. The Batman. Batman, what's the story? Sorry, no comment. Whoa, he's as grim as the grave. Yes, the loom of fate weaves a weird tapestry, this night, upon which the Batman and his old ally, the Atom, are forced into a team-up so bizarre that only death itself can cut the thread that ensnares them with The Corpse That Wouldn't Die. Story by Bob Haney, art by Jim Aparo, and editor Maury Boltonoff. Part 1. Golden Girl Hunt. Batman. This is the girl's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Manton. I already know them, Commissioner. My friend, so good to see you again. You must get our Debbie back. You must. Try to keep your spirits up, Howard. Rest assured that I'll do everything in my power to save her. You know Howard Manton? I wasn't aware you traveled in such rich circles. I don't, but I met them through Debbie herself. Lots of people were lucky enough to have their lives warmed by knowing the all-American sweetheart, Debbie Manton. The public knew her mainly as a brilliant student, a campus queen, the so-called golden girl of her generation. But I knew her as the gentle, hard-working counselor to ghetto kids, who slaved long hours without a cent of pay or a shred of publicity. Yes, she was the girl who had everything, until she had the bad luck of stumbling on Bugsy Cathcart, putting the hit on one of his competitors in the hijacking business. If only she hadn't cut across that ghetto playground on her way home that night. But she was an eyewitness, and she did come forward, like a good and brave citizen. And now Bugsy's little rat packs grabbed her to stop her from testifying. And that's Cathcart.
laughing. No, Batman! Stop! Laugh, will you, you hyena? If anything happens to that girl, I'll tear your rotten heart out. Good God, Batman! Please! I know how you feel, but I can't allow this.
Keep that crazy crumb away from me, or you'll never see a hair of that Snoopy doll. Not a hair.
Shortly,
I'm under control now. But Bugsy's rats have to kill Debbie sooner or later. They can't let her live and testify. We must find her before they do it. We must.
now begins the greatest girl hunt in Gotham's history. A hunt led and inspired by a man possessed. A man who seems to have forgotten fear, or caution, or any thought, save one.
Not a clue to where the girl's being held so far. And I doubt these high rollers know anything. One word, one slip, could be the tip we need, Gordon. Sweat 'em. Make 'em spill their guts.
Never saw him like that, Commissioner.
Neither have I, Sergeant. If we don't find that poor girl soon, he'll tear Gotham apart, brick by brick.
Then, a glimmer of sordid light.
Army Eddie, what happened? Fall on your face again?
Nah, they beat me up. I had a good flop in that place down the street, but gorillas with guns beat me up and threw me out.
And moments later,
Commissioner, by a lucky freak, I'm on to where Debbie may be held. But I have to go after her alone. If they smell cop, they could kill her. So I'm not even telling you where she is, or where it is. But I must know. What if something goes wrong? Batman! Batman!
but the man of the night is bent on his fateful mission. A mission to save a young and beautiful life, yet one which will end his own.
Who would have guessed this place? A short jump, a grab on the rain sprout, and I swing into that open window.
A short jump for a Batman, yes, but it is really a leap into eternity. Don't know how we found this place, but it's a good thing we juiced up all the ways of entry with plenty of voltage. We better dump his body someplace else, and hope he didn't tell the fuzz where he was heading. And shortly, in a hushed hospital room now, there is dismay, disbelief, and final tragedy. He's dead.
What? It can't be. He's breathing.
Yes, respiration is still occurring, as is heartbeat, though irregularly, but the brainwave is flat. His brain's electrical balance has been permanently destroyed by that voltage he took. His heart will beat a few more hours, then stop. Death will be final then. But for all practical purposes, Batman is clinically dead now.
I don't believe you. Doctors make mistakes. I can't buy the idea that Batman is a living dead man.
Then we'll get another opinion. By chance, an old friend of Batman is here at the hospital today. I'll call him. An old friend of Batman's. You better believe it. And he's none other than Ray Palmer, renowned physicist from Ivy University, alias the Atom. What a terrible coincidence. My old comrade dying here the very day I'm lecturing. As a physicist, I can only sadly concur with the doctors, Commissioner. Batman's brain impulse, vital to life, is gone. Only his iron constitution keeps his heart going. A little while longer. As a friend, I can only grieve and say goodbye to the greatest crime fighter of the ages.
But if only he could be awake and walk the earth these last few hours, instead of just lying there, then he could finish his last mission and save that innocent girl. He was closing in on them, but we don't know where. Then I could even be resigned to his death.
Easy, Commissioner. Easy. Gordon's words about Batman walking the earth for a few more hours. Maybe they're not just words. Maybe it's actually possible. I'll just stay behind a few moments. Pay my last silent respects to him.
Of course, Professor.
What ingenious, incredible idea is being born in the brain of Ray Adam Palmer? What bizarre shock awaits in Part 2? Part 2. The Body That Was Reborn. A man stands in a dim hospital room, staring at the body of a friend, from which the final tides of energy and life are ebbing. I may be about to do the craziest thing a man ever did, but if it will help you finish your last mission, Batman, it's worth every risk. From his briefcase, the youthful scientist takes two small objects. Luckily, I was going to demonstrate this miniature TV camera and receiver set to the hospital surgery staff. After placing the tiny TV camera eye on Batman's chest, now holding the receiver with one hand and pressing my unique belt with the other, via the fantastic power of white dwarf star fibers in his belt control, the 6'2" scientist begins his amazing metamorphosis into the Atom. Down, down he dwindles, becoming smaller, smaller. Ever smaller, he shrinks until...
I must get even smaller yet.
A further reduction in size, and the amazing mighty might easily enters Batman's ear, like some intruding flea.
The stirrup, the hammer, and the anvil. Basic parts of the middle ear.
Now the man who was moments before Ray Palmer shrinks even more.
The semicircular canals of the inner ear, important to balance. Just ahead, Batman's brain.
Once more exerting the prodigious power of his belt, the tiny titan reduces himself still further to molecular magnitude.
Made it. At this size, nerves are huge ropes. Cells are big as water lily pads. That great thing ahead, the medulla oblongata, or brainstem.
I think that was from The Lion King, the medulla oblongata, yeah. Or some popular movie. I can't remember what it was. I think it was like Lion King, though.
There are 12 main cranial nerves radiating from it. The old brainstem is a real communication center. It's also governor of certain crucial life functions, like breathing and heartbeat. If Batman's going to finish his mission, he'll need oxygen. Plenty of it. So I've got to stimulate the oblongata with some fancy footwork.
And as the amazing Minuteman races around inside the skull of his dead friend,
It's working. That artery's pulsating, and the blood in it is a brighter red, showing higher oxygen content. Good. His heartbeat and breathing are almost normal. Now to reach the brain's thinking part, the cerebrum, that gray mass ahead.
Diminished as he is, the half-inch he must travel inside Batman's cranium is like a half-mile to the atom.
Made it. Now if I don't poop out, must reach the general area of the motor control. Give him the idea to give up.
Moments pass, and suddenly, the inert figure stirs, and, like some miracle of resurrection, rises.
Victory! Beautiful! Since the TV receiver shrunk down with me, I can get a picture of what the camera on Batman's chest sees. The hospital room. Now I'm off to the cerebellum or hindbrain.
And when he reaches this other smaller, spongy mass,
the cerebellum controls equilibrium and coordination. Now if I can just get him steered toward that window.
Abruptly,
Eek!
And now, moving stiffly and jerkily, a dead hero once again walks the night, while inside his burnt-out brain, a human speck has become his spark of temporary life.
I can't reconstitute Batman's own total consciousness, but I'm banking that his subconscious, crime fighter's instinct, will steer him back to his last living memory before he got zapped. The hideout where those creeps are holding Debbie Manton.
Minutes pass, until...
He stopped! Wow! Look where we are! An abandoned police station. No wonder nobody but the Batman found it. He's going right up to the front door. No! Got to race back to the cerebrum. Give him another idea.
Yet even as the human speck streaks back to the great gray mass that controls conscious thought.
Yow! Hot electric current hitting my feet. It's like he's fighting my idea, sticking to his own. I better cooperate.
And, as the mighty might stimulates a cooler area,
maybe he knows best. Maybe using a shrewd entry is what got him killed before. Here we go.
The next moment.
So far, so good. But from here on in, it's going to get much tougher.
Suddenly,
Batman! You're dead!
Uh-oh. I'm picking up a creep show on my TV. Got to stop that guy before he warns his buddies. I've given the cerebrum the idea to clobber him. Now to tickle the cerebellum into following through.
but as the atom once again stimulates his giant host,
He missed. Wrong hand? No wonder. I forgot that the right side of his brain controls the body's left side, and vice versa. I have to broad jump onto the cerebellum's left lobe to make Batman land a right. KO! The girl must be somewhere upstairs, if she's still alive.
there is no turning back now. Just turn the page as a dead man stalks into Part 3. Part 3. 10 feet to eternity. Slowly, step by step, Batman, his brain inhabited by his infinitesimal friend, the Atom, mounts the dim stairway.
Wow! What's happening?
Flung like a mighty or like a bowling ball, the mighty might finally breaks his momentum.
Where am I? Looks like the thalamus, the primitive part of the brain. But what's going on? No wonder. I'm getting a picture of the ceiling. Batman's down. That spill I took must have been caused by somebody clobbering him from behind. Something the TV eye on his chest couldn't catch. Oh no! That's the goon! About to finish the job! Got to really go! Go! Go!
The next instant,
Scratch one more goon. But I've got to run another two-bagger. From the cerebrum to the cerebellum. To give my pal a get-up message.
once again, like some automaton or mechanical doll, the clinically dead Batman rises.
Woo! We're moving again. But I'm lacking the peripheral or side vision he'd normally have.
You can say that again, Adam, but don't try, because...
Can't see anything. But Batman stopped on his own. Why? Why? All I can see is the empty hall ahead. But I better respect Batman's instincts. Something must be threatening him. I mean, us. From the slight tilt of the TV picture, I guess somebody's shoving something against the right side of his head. So I'll do a left lobe cerebellum tickle and try to turn toward it.
Slowly, the zombie-like form turns.
Ye gods! Good thing I didn't overreact. A shotgun's pointed right at his brain. A false move, and not only will Batman's extra few hours of living end, but so will my own much longer life.
For what seems like an eternity, but is really a few seconds, the tiny titan ponders his dilemma.
Got to chance it. A really complicated maneuver. First, to plant the idea in the cerebrum. But how much time have I before that guy blasts away?
Round inside the skull of the menaced Hulk, he now races the Atom.
I've touched all the bases this time. Now to jazz the thalamus and hope this isn't my last moment.
Suddenly, the once moribund figure explodes into action.
Did it! And a lucky shot triggered the second barrel, right into that would-be killer. The girl. Got to find her. Quickly.
The lumbering masked manhunter opens one last door, and...
Maybe you ain't dead, Batman, but the chick sure will be if you take one more little step.
Blazes. It's 10 feet to that goon, and not even the living Batman could move fast enough, let alone this clumsy walking corpse. Yet I can't give up. Got to get into high gear. One more time.
But as the Atom begins his desperate race...
And since the cops are probably not far behind you, I'm plugging her right now.
Yet, even as the hood's finger tightens on the trigger...
Huh? Batman? Toppling?
Down like a dead tree. He must have been living on borrowed time. But it finally ran out. And so is yours, doll. You can't live to send Bugsy away forever.
No, please.
Suddenly, Moving with a speed that renders him invisible, the tiny figure hits with the impact of a closely fired bullet. Now silence floods the dusty room.
He's out cold, and Debbie's fainted. Thank the stars my gamble paid off. Vacating Batman's brain and hitting him with a full punch. Of course, by leaving Batman's brain, I ended his temporary lease on life. But his surprise collapse delayed this gunman's hand just long enough for me to save Debbie. Your last mission's finished, old friend. What bitter irony. If I stayed inside your skull, your second life could continue indefinitely. But then Ray Palmer's life would be discontinued.
And so, it comes to pass, in a hushed hospital room, men are stricken with awe.
Somehow, he got up and functioned. Saved that girl, and then returned here, dead on arrival. But it's medically impossible. However, it happened. We'll never know, since any moment now his heart will stop, and death will be final and permanent.
Dead, you say? I told you. You Sawbones make mistakes. Nothing was impossible for the Batman. Nothing.
What's this? His brainwave pattern. It's returning to normal. Impossible.
Breathing, and heartbeat. They're stabilizing. Incredible!
He's moving. He's going to live. Yet there wasn't an atom of life energy in his brain. It's a miracle.
I told you.
I told you, nothing's impossible for him. He's going to live.
They don't know that there was a single atom still alive inside Batman's brain. And, as a scientist, I'd surmise all that stimulation must have reversed things and caused this happy miracle. Later, half of that reward should go to the atom, but I doubt Debbie would want to kiss a fellow only 6 inches high. Thus concludes the most bizarre Brave and the Bold epic yet. The B&B beat goes on in every issue. Stay with it. So, I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be appreciated. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later.